My George Clooney move. Okay, George Clooney. Okay, here we go. Hi, my name is Bednarek, and I'm a faculty member here at the Lodz International Studies Academy. Our academy has indulged in various scientific research concerning international relations and, of course, American studies. Taking into account today's historic events, I hope you enjoy this little interview.
How will the US foreign policy change in case of Mitt Romney win, and how will it affect Poland?
It's a very interesting question. Mitt Romney is a very interesting candidate in terms of his international policy. He was the only presidential candidate that I remember who ever came to Poland prior to the election. Now, President Obama did visit Poland, however, we did not see any elements that we would consider to be beneficial for us as Poles. Now, of course, many of us remember the Bush administration and Bush's ideas on the special defense shield that was supposed to be created in Poland, which Obama stopped. However, I do not think that the Democrats in the House of Representatives will allow Mr. Romney to continue with that plan. However, the United States foreign policy will definitely change. Now, of course, there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans, and everybody knows that. However, we've witnessed these last 4 years of the Obama administration, and what we've seen is staggering. Staggering economy, staggering international policy. Hopefully, the election of Mr. Romney will change all that. However, remember, change can be a bad thing as well.
Okay, and is Romney going to restore a superpower position to the US? Because he has a well-known saying, if you want America to be the biggest superpower in the world, then I am not your president.
Well, that's an interesting question yet again. However, I think that America's position as a superpower hasn't changed all that much, even under the Obama administration. Some people say that the role of America in international, of course, finance has lessened, so to say, and the increase of China's influence, of course, in other Far Eastern countries. However, I don't think that Mitt Romney is that much of an influential candidate that will change the entire political and economic scene around the world. Therefore, I think that in terms of what you said, a superpower, that Mitt Romney will remain the same or in the same position as the current administration.
Mitt Romney often changes face. Do the Republicans had no other choice than Romney?
Well, the Republican Party, the first most famous, of course, let's not forget, the first most famous president, a Republican president of the United States was Abraham Lincoln. And if we recall all the events during that time with the Civil War happening, and now we, through historical development, understand that not only being this a clash of North and South, but also an economic clash between capitalism and agricultural type of administration. So the big question being asked currently would be, at that time, would be whether capitalism will predominate or whether America will remain an agricultural state. And if that had not happened, then would America be the superpower that it is today? Republicans have always had very charismatic candidates, and I cannot believe that there is anyone better than Mr. Romney at this point. Of course, I do not want to compare Mr. Romney with the before-mentioned Abraham Lincoln. However, we need to remember that most of Republican candidates are very charismatic characters, and Mr. Romney definitely is a very charismatic individual.
America changed a lot in the past 4 years. Obama rekindled hope of the Americans. How do you rate the last term of office?
Well, you said it yourself. It was hope, and all that hope, to a certain extent, is gone. The famous Obama, yes we can, well, it could turn now into, well, we'll try. Because most of the political, financial, economic, etc., elements that Obama promised that his administration would deal with have actually not been dealt with until this moment. When I look at Obama's 4 years, it has definitely been a time of social change. It has definitely been a time of more stabilization in terms of foreign policy. We know Obama's ideas on the issues of Afghanistan and the Iraq policy. So that is definitely a plus. The negatives on Obama's last 4 years are undoubtedly his economic policy, which has not combated the crisis situation which is currently going on in the United States. However, we have to remember that Americans think in a different type of way than us Poles here do. Americans thrive on, let's say, regional conflict, and therefore it is not as much important to the average Joe whether it'll be Obama or Romney, because everything in fact goes on within the state itself. However, judging Obama from recent accounts, I think about 50% of Americans judge his last 4 years as a success. However, on the other hand, you get that other 50% who believes that it was a complete misfortune to have a president not doing anything in this era of global crisis.